Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to ACE Co Full Steam Ahead. Today we have a very special guest, Christine, who is the second recipient of our Empower Her Award Scholarship with TMU. So welcome, Christine. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So I wanted to say thank you so much for even applying for the award. And we're so excited because our goal is to make sure that we're empowering women like you who are pursuing an education in STEAM. And in your case, it's engineering, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm in electrical engineering.
Nice. So
Yeah.
congratulations on being the second recipient. And can you
Thank you.
share what this recognition means to you and how it aligns with your journey in engineering?
Yeah, so this recognition it's very appreciated because I feel like a lot of the work that myself and my peers do to advocate for students, specifically women in engineering, it kind of goes very quietly. So being recognized and being seen in that way is like an amazing feeling to have. Um, and most of my engineering degree now, I've been a part of a lot of initiatives that do highlight women in engineering and trying to get them more seen as well. So yeah, it's amazing to be able to get this scholarship and to continue pushing to make this all equal.
Awesome. So, what made you decide engineering?
So as a kid, I knew I wanted to be in something trades or STEM. I like grew up like doing renovations with my dad. He's a CET for electrical and mechanical engineering as well. Like my mom does programming. Like it's a very tech-based, like trade-based kind of home. So I really did like the things that boys did. So it was really exciting to figure out what that was at the end of elementary school, at the end of high school. And so I really did like designing things. I took a tech course in high school and I started 3D printing. I worked on AutoCAD, like I work on all of these cool things. And I thought, yeah, I could do this for the rest of my life. So, and then I really liked this physics unit that we had in grade 9 and grade 12, and it was circuit analysis and things like that. So it went from engineering to narrow down to electrical engineering. So yeah.
Awesome. So let me tell you a little bit about me. So my background is audio production and engineering. So I
Mm.
remember that in our courses, like we had to do like iron soldering and making our own XLR. And it was really fascinating to actually be in that space to be able to use your hands. So I could totally get where you're coming from for that. So I noticed you currently are in your fifth year of electrical engineering with
Yep.
a minor in music and culture. So, what
Mhm.
inspired you to pursue this unique combination?
Music has been a big part of my life as well, and I don't think I was ready to part ways with it in university. So yeah, I've been playing piano since I was like 5. It runs in the family too, like we all play instruments. And then in high school, I went to an art school, and that really pushed me forwards to considering even double majoring in music. But TMU doesn't have a performance major, but they have this music minor where I get to learn about history and culture and things like that of music. So about music in different religions and things like that. So it was really cool to learn about that side of music rather than just performance, where anyone else could do, but having the chance to learn more about the background on things. I feel like it broadens your view on certain aspects, but it also helps me be able to step outside of that engineering space and be able to be more creative and learn more about things that you don't normally learn in an engineering degree. And it also helps me think differently as well. So I thought just having the two really did complement each other, especially in job applications too, where I think a lot of my internship interviews, they were just curious as to why I was doing music as well. So it was something that caught their eye. So yeah, it's just a really nice hobby to have, but also something to good to have like to talk about as well. Like it's just been all positive experiences after having this minor. Yeah.
Yes, and I think that a lot of people don't realize, but the arts has a place in STEM, which makes it STEAM, right? And
Hmm.
everywhere you go, there's something about the arts that can be appreciated, especially when it comes to, for me, I love music, right? So thinking about seeing you as an electrical engineer and also a minoring in music, I don't know, is there something maybe you think you could combine the two sometime in the future?
I feel like sound engineering even or things like that could be really cool. But yeah, I think because engineering and things like that, they're essential to life. You have to, have a chair in your home, like that's engineering. But I think we live for the arts, right? So we live to go to concerts, we want to go watch movies, it's things like that. So having the combination of the two is just I feel like it's essential even.
So what would you say to a younger person that's trying to decide if they should still continue pursuing music or pursuing something else in STEM?
I say do both. Whatever you want to have a career in more. I like if they're thinking about majoring in that, I would say go towards that, and then the other one can be your hobby or anything else that you want to do. So, similar to now I'm doing my engineering degree, but sometimes I still tutor in music theory. Sometimes I still perform with friends, or I'll just jam on my own at like 2 a.m. at night if I really want like some headspace, right? So, it's good to have uh the two spaces to be in. So don't give up one, I would say. Just like try to pick one that you're gonna do more, that you're more interested in, but still keep the other one on the side and, enjoy both worlds of that.
Some great advice. I know for me, when I was pursuing sound engineering, music was one of the hardest things for me, especially learning how to read and write music.
Yeah.
But I think one day though, I'm gonna revisit that because I want to be able to play piano. So do you think there's like
Yeah.
an age limit? Like if you didn't do this before, like don't bother? You think there's
Yeah,
like
no, I think there's always a time to, you can always learn an instrument anytime. I know someone that I'm working with here, she's 50 or 60. She's learning piano now. She's at level one. And she's really excited and she loves her music. So it's whatever you enjoy. Yeah.
so inspirational? So, as the president of the Metropolitan Undergraduate Engineering Society and a national counselor for the Canadian Federation of Engineering Students, how do you see leadership playing a role in shaping the students' engineering experience?
I think so I started my degree in 2020, so it was quarantine. And so it was really hard to make friends if I weren't in clubs, I would say. So a lot of my mentors, a lot of my friends were older students that were able to guide me throughout my degree and that I'm still friends with even after they've graduated.
Mm,
And I think that's shaped me to become who I am. I don't think I would have been as talkative, as like outgoing, or as organized as I am right now if I wasn't a part of these leadership roles. And I feel like it's also translated through my personal life as well. Like, recently, I think I just had a dinner with my family, and it was a celebration of a ceremony I did. And my mom just spur of the moment went, Christine, you're doing a speech now. And I went, oh, okay. But because I had the background and like the amount of times that I've done speeches or presentations, it
mm.
just came naturally. Whereas I think if I hadn't been a part of these things, I would have been shaking at the table. I probably wouldn't know what to say. So overall, like these experiences have just shaped who I am for the better. And you kind of deal with the good and bad things of leadership as well, with having to coach people. And so I found it really helpful during my internship as well when you're dealing with the real world in that sense. And overall, I think I was able to understand what people expected of me as a leader as well, because when you have a team, you kind of understand like what you want your team to do and how they can help. So in that case, I knew how to be a team member as well, even in these leadership roles. But yeah, there's so many ways that it's helped me out, both in work and life, in school, writing reports so that I'm clear and concise. Like it's everywhere. So I do recommend leadership all the time. Every time I talk to a first year and they ask what my biggest advice is, it's getting involved. Yeah.
Awesome. And so advocacy seems to be a strong part of your work. What are some of the biggest challenges students face when it comes to speaking up and advocating for themselves? So you talked about, the leadership skills that you were able to develop. But some students may not have those opportunities or they're afraid to take them. But what do you think is the biggest challenges that students face and how have you been able to help support them?
I think just approaching someone is a little hard, especially when it's a very scary professor, for example. So generally, like professors always have office hours and they're answering their emails, but sometimes maybe in class they seem like they know too much, they are too smart for you. So I've tried to make them more personable through my work on these student group teams and working in my dean's office now, like having them come out more to events for students, inviting them to ceremonies and celebrations, even working to have them come out to game nights and things like that makes them a bit more personal, more approachable. They're not just professors, but they're also people. So making our community feel a bit more human, I guess. So in that case, I think those professors, they do find students who do come to them more and aren't as scared to approach them to get help, to advocate. But I also find that it's really hard when you're not involved, you don't know where to go to
Yeah.
because you don't know the people that can help you, right? So I've also written out my whole summer was writing out this engineering handbook specifically for first years, but it works for everyone, but it has all the resources that you can have. So it's things like getting accommodations or like figuring out how to talk to professors, how to email, how to or what your prerequisites are for courses. It's like an all-in-one kind of book
Yeah.
that has helped a lot of people. So overall, that has been a really big help in where to get help on certain things. Also, the Student Service Center, the Consent Comes First office, things like that, where to go to get a doctor's note. Yeah, so it's a really helpful way to have everything in one space. It's kind of what I would have wanted in first year. So having that space or that book where you can get all the info and help yourself and figure out where to help yourself, was also a big
So
one.
are you going to be able to share that book with us?
I could,
I would love
yeah.
that. So was it because of your own challenges what inspired you to write this book?
Yes, yeah. So many times, at TMU we have this one academic consideration request, basically like just so if you had any um issues with not completing an assignment or not being able to make it to a test, you have this one freebie basically per semester, but no one knows about it. And it's so helpful if you do. And I thought like from that point of learning about that service, I was just, okay, I might as well put this all in one book. So I also put in the accommodation center, being an accommodation student. It was really hard finding how to get accommodations as well.
Hmm.
When I first was starting off, because I didn't have accommodations in high school, but I had issues in university. So it's things like that where people don't know that they can get help. There's a whole book now where you can just look at everything that is able to aid you in whatever issue you may have in university, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, it is from personal, like, man, I wish I had this in my first year. And I've talked to my friends who were older mentors, and they said, you did like you really did what I wish I had when I was in university as well. So, and it was in consultants with my team. So my team on MUSE, so the Metropolitan Undergraduate Engineering Society, all of them from different disciplines and different years. They reviewed the books with me. So it was really nice to see that all the feedback was positive and that it was just this whole book on just literally everything. Like, it's just been really helping first years as well, even just finding places to study
Yeah.
or where to get your lunch or a snack. Um, yeah, so it's
So
just everywhere. But yeah.
where can TMU students find this book?
It's at KHE 123. It's in the Muse office. It's the 2024-25 books, so for this year. But generally the information doesn't change. So they can come to the office and just pick it up.
Oh wow. So will you
Yeah.
publish it again like every year or make
Well,
sure?
it's dependent on the next team, but I will highly encourage it. Like I think it was a very successful initiative.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think it's going to do wonders because just this week I had a workshop to do with TMU students for women in leadership. And I asked them, do they have a support system or do they feel comfortable approaching a professor or, someone to be a mentor? And the majority said no. They said they rather go to their peers than speak to somebody else that's of a professor because they're worried about what that professor is going to think of them. But I think
yeah.
your book would definitely help them figure out then how to navigate those things and probably encourage them to speak to their professor because I was letting them know that they're human just like you. And a lot of them, I'm sure, would be willing to share their journey or help them in kind
Hmm.
of ways to avoid some challenges that they have faced, right? Well,
Yeah.
that is amazing. Thank you for doing that. And I'm for curiosity for myself, I would just love to take a look at it. I think it would be great if every college or every university had something like that because you do end up lost if it's your first year and
For
overwhelmed.
sure.
And
Yeah.
so in your booklet, does it also talk about like different groups that they can, student groups that they can join? Or
Yeah, so it does, yeah, it does highlight well, it highlights the categories of student groups that you can be a part of. So design teams and chapters and things like that. We don't have a list of it all because the number of groups and the types of groups are always changing.
Mhm.
So I did just link our website that has a list of all the student groups so they can just go in from there. But yeah, this book, my team and I worked on it all summer. And I think it's pretty helpful. And if there's not enough information, we also have a what to search for on Google. So you can even just go on the school websites for
Well,
that as well.
congrats to you and your team for this big accomplishment. This is really
Thank
awesome.
you.
So I see that a lot of this has already inspired you to take on a leadership role in your engineering community. How has this experience shaped your perspective of being a woman in STEM?
I think in specifically this year, I've experienced a lot of like that kind of, oh, I'm not being treated right as a woman. Oh, I'm treated differently as a woman. I've had lab assignments these past years where it was all guys, but and one of them would have been my friend, and just the one friend and I would be the person that I'd be talking to the most, where the rest can't even look at me in the eye. So yeah, like it gets very awkward and I like it's very hard to be like the pushy girl where you just try to do a lot of things instead of and then you don't really want to be the one that's laid back either in a group project, right? So it's been really hard to navigate. But my capstone group is actually amazing and it's very rare that we're three girls and one guy. But we work very well together and it's really great experience.
Mhm.
But I have had classmates where um it's just unbelievable where I'm thinking like no way you just thought that or things like that. So it's topics like one time like in our capstone class we had a survey to do to review our program and one person said oh we don't like 8 a.m.s, we're a commuter school, we have to wake up very early, which is very fair, but then they said because if you're a girl you have to wake up even earlier to do your makeup, and I went
What?
oh, yeah, it's just things like that where I, and specifically this year that it's happened the most where I realize, oh, like people are out here and this is very common. And it's a really weird experience, but continuing to educate these people and say, like maybe be more considerate of what you say, or this is how it could be perceived.
Mhm.
Um, has been very helpful. But yeah, and this scholarship and all these experiences working to advocate for women, like it really brings me out to be more confident in saying like, hey, this is not something great to say. And it also helps with how I navigate these conversations as well. Um, but yeah, so these experiences, um, do help with being a woman in engineering, I think, because I feel like I'm more confident in who I am because in my mind, like I am a leader in my community. So being able to help others too, even if they don't really ask for it, but I like offer like I think this isn't the greatest way to say something.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really helped me there.
That is so awesome. It's so great that you're comfortable to have that voice to speak up because a lot of women don't feel that they have that confidence to do that. So I'm hoping that, for those that do watch this podcast, this video, that they feel encouraged, especially by the steps that you have been able to take. So, what are some specific initiatives or changes that you hope to see for future students, especially because you're a woman in engineering?
Um, in terms of change, I think we're getting towards the goal. I think it's a never-ending kind of journey, but we're getting closer and closer every day where I think I see more female leaders within our community more than males now at this point, especially in the society realm of things. And I think there's so many new initiatives that come out of it because of this different way of thinking and coming from a woman in engineering perspective. Like it's just awesome in that way.
Mhm.
Um, I really do hope some initiatives that my team and I have worked on will carry over. So just recently, this past Friday, we hosted an Iron Ring Nails event. So you could do your nails before the event. It's very empowering. Even some guys came for pedicures and things like that. So um, all around, like it was a very positive event. And people were asking for more events like it. So it was really nice to see.
Mhm.
And then our Women in Engineering student group, which only started a few years ago, they're doing so many amazing things. I think they're our strongest advocacy group. I think they have a successful conference every year. They have so many people that apply to try to join the team because people feel so empowered and so wanting to create change in the community and feel like they can create change. So yeah, generally, overall, I think we're starting to get there. And if we can continue to make these changes in the future, I would love to see what that looks like in 3, 4 years when a first year now becomes the president of maybe Muse, maybe the Women in Eng team, design teams, anything like that. I really hope to see it all kind of flourish.
That would be amazing to see. So I have another question for you. So when it comes to the professors, now do you see that there's maybe a change in their thought processes when they have more males in their class opposed to females? The reason why I asked this, I had an interview with she's a quantum physicist and a professional ballerina. And when she was in university, a lot of times she was the only girl in her class. And her professor, one of her professors told her that he thinks that she should change because she's being a distraction in the class from just being a woman. Now, have you felt anything like that now, or you feel like there's a more of a change? What is your perspective now that you are in university, your fifth year, but throughout your journey so far, have you ever experienced anything like that?
Um, Not so much with professors myself, but like through observing, I find that a lot of the time, um, classes do feel like a boys' club sometimes. But I think a lot of the girls in my program are very resilient. They're very, well, they're very composed where they will ask any questions that they have if they have any, but I do find that it's mostly the guys that are more talkative in class. Um, I do think that in the future, like I really hope that there are more female engineering professors, especially in my school. I
Mhm.
think throughout my entire degree, I've had three three out of like how many classes that I've had like so I do feel more welcome to talk to them, to reach out to them and ask for help when it comes to a professor that is a male um that is a bit more off-putting and a bit more like stern. They feel a bit more scarier to approach but after getting to know them, like then it is easier, but it's just that first step where I really do wish I had more female representation in our faculty
Yeah.
to be able to advocate and understand any issues that I or my other peers may have.
Mm.
It'd be so much better.
I totally agree. Is there, do you have any advice for any professors out there on what they could do to make their classrooms more welcoming, whether they are a female or a male professor?
I think maybe taking empathy training or things like that, where you learn about firsthand experiences. I know generally in any job you do EDI training, and it's very generalized, but I think specifically for engineering profs, because the biggest EDI issue I would say is the low representation of women in engineering. Um, I think learning specifically about that topic for professors is something that would help so many students. Um, and then just having a professor who doesn't really impose any of these like traditional values that they may have. I've had a professor this past summer who would always talk about politics and always talk about how, oh, back then women were in the kitchen all the time. So it's things like that where sure you can think that, but please don't talk about it in class. Like I'm not paying you. This is not my tuition paying for this kind of talk.
Mhm.
Having that training where you understand why students may feel uncomfortable because of that kind of imposed kind of speech onto the students in lecture can hurt their experience. Um, yeah, it's just training to reduce that kind of conversation there
Mhm.
would be super helpful.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I love the thought of having that empathy training, um, especially in engineering or any male-dominated field. That would definitely help. So, looking back at your journey, what advice would you give young women who are pursuing, they're interested in pursuing engineering, but may feel hesitant or unsure because they're not sure about taking up space in this field?
I would say, why not be a part of the solution? Take up space. It's your space to take. It's because I think a lot of the time people think that they won't succeed because they'll get chosen as a token, but if that token is taken, if that box is checked, that they won't be the person that their dream job selects. I
Mhm.
think let your work show how amazing you are and how much grit and effort you put into your homework, your assignments, your labs, and your internships. I think now more than ever, having more women take up space in STEM fields is adding to the solution, right? So, being hesitant is, I think, good because you're thinking about these things.
Yes.
But then just keep jumping in if you're passionate about it. I think engineering specifically is so, what's it called? It's so like you have to want it. You know what I mean? You can't think like, maybe I'll do engineering just because it pays well. No, it's a lot of group work. It's a lot of hard work. It's working late at night. It's working early in the morning. It's staying over at construction sites to monitor the work that's going on. Like it's a lot of work and being passionate about it. If you are and you're into engineering, you should do it because it's rewarding after all this work. And all of these friends of mine that have graduated that are older and they're in all these different roles, they're super happy with where they are. So it's just seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Don't think about the issues that come yet, but like take up space, put your notebooks everywhere, open up your laptop, put your pens everywhere, show that you own the place, honestly. And I don't think anyone at this point is going to try to diminish that. Yeah, like I think there are no cons to taking up space, especially as a woman in engineering.
Exactly, especially whatever it is that you're passionate about, right? And I also feel that we shouldn't wait to see someone that looks like us to be able to take the step. So
Hmm.
even if there's not a woman in a certain field, but you have the passion for it, I feel like go ahead, try it out. See if that's for you, opposed to saying though, well, I don't see anyone that looks like me or that's a woman that's doing it, so maybe I shouldn't. Right? So I totally agree with you. Take up space, own the classroom.
Hmm.
So, the ACE Co EmpowerHer Award recognizes students who demonstrate leadership and advocacy like you. How do you see yourself using this award as a platform to further your impact in the engineering community?
Well, there's already this podcast, which is really exciting. It's going to be public, so I hope people watch it. I hope people feel empowered. And it's things like this where I think your work has been really inspiring. Like before even applying for this scholarship, I searched up what ACE and Co does, what they stand for, what they do. And I think just having this organization get more out there really does, even if you don't like interact one-on-one. I think even hearing about what the pillars are and what you stand for is something that sticks with the people, with students. And I think from there, like it really does help with what I want to do later on. Like I do want to do some sort of advocacy in STEM later on as well. And I think experiencing these kinds of things, especially in this final year, I would love to honestly like move to work towards like reaching out to younger students and getting them more interested in STEM, maybe doing some code with them. And then later on, even helping students in university kind of get their footing and feel more confident in who they are and take up space. And so, yeah, like I think um, having also ACE and Co, like learning about what you do and what exactly that you do. So, what you stand for, what you do, I think it really does help with kind of clearing those noisy thoughts and just seeing that beeline of, okay, this is the goal, this is how I want to do it. And so, yeah, like I think it really does clear up my mind on what exactly my vision would be for this community as well in these final months. And hopefully that translates to the younger leaders that I'm working with as well.
That is our hope. Our hope is to be the bridge between education and industry, helping young women like yourselves achieve your dreams and your goals. So we're so grateful for you for even applying for the scholarship and then winning. So definitely hoping that you'll encourage others to do the same. But now, as you are approaching graduation, you're almost done. What's next for you? Is there any career goals or projects that you're excited about pursuing in the near future?
Yeah, well, in the very, very near future, I need to finish my capstone project. It's this little desk robot that is supposed to be your personal assistant, basically. So that's really exciting. Working on my capstone group with that. And a lot of our deadlines are coming up. So that's like taking most of my mind right now. But I do want to work in sustainability and power distribution and things like that. I in my degree have been focusing more on the power side of electrical engineering. I think it's much more interesting. It's what my internship was on. So yeah, those are things that I'm looking forwards to after grad.
We are rooting for you. We are wishing the best for you. We know that you're going to accomplish so many things because you already doing the work. You're already doing the work. So you'll definitely see the rewards at the end. So thank you again, Christine, for being on the Ace and Co Full Steam Ahead. We so appreciate the work you're doing. And again, we will support you all along the way. So everyone,
Thank you.
thanks so much for joining in. Share this with your networks. This is how we empower women in STEAM. Thank you.
Thank you.